Hello, I just wanted to do a quick video showing how I made my brake push rod adjustable. I was having an issue of my brake pedal would touch the floor before all of the pressure was exerted through the master cylinder. And I looked online, and you can get them through CJ Pony Parts and Mustangs Unlimited and stuff, but they're all around $50. And so what I ended up doing, I just took my current push rod, okay, and unfortunately the video that I'm making was an afterthought. I should have recorded my process of it, but and it was a really easy process, so really it's not like you're going to be missing out on anything by me not showing you the steps, because it only took me an hour, and some of that was going to the store and getting some stuff. But the original push rod is right here, and it normally doesn't have threads. Normally this is just solid. And I've seen some people make these online, and what they do is they cut off the they cut the push rod in half, thread that, get a union, take a bolt that's also threaded, and then cut off the end, and then that's where they get, or they make this to fit inside the master cylinder. But and that would work well too, I think, for some applications. But the thing I liked about having the original push rod is that it has this little rubber washer or rubber O-ring on it that kind of keeps it engaged into the master cylinder bore. So anyway, this was really easy. What I did, it cost me $5 to do this. This push rod actually came out of a 68 master cylinder. I have a 66 Mustang, but the push rod, this one's out of a 68 because this is out of the dual bowl. So anyway, what I did, it was really easy. You just get a hacksaw or however you want to cut it, and just cut it, you know, about a fourth of the way down. This part is not what's going to be adjusting in and out. This is the part that's going to be adjusting in and out. So you really only need enough space on this side for your coupling to stay secure and not move on you. Okay, and so if you've never threaded anything before, it's really easy. You can buy a full tap and die set, or you can just go down to your local hardware store. Sometimes you can get them singly. So I got this from Ace. It was $5, and this is a 7/16. I found that this was the best size to use for the push rod. It wasn't an exact fit, but ½ inch is too big, and so I use this is a 7/16. And the thread pitch is 20, okay? It's not 14, it's 20. So that's the fine thread, not the coarse thread. And it's really easy to do. When I was threading it, I noticed this was a little bit too big of an application. And this was cutting a lot of the well, not a lot, but it was cutting thickness off of the bolt. And so it took a while to get started. This one took a little bit longer. You can see that it didn't actually start biting in and creating threads until like an 1/8 of an inch in. This one went pretty easily. But all you have to do is you set it up on your vise, get it nice and secure. This one's much easier because you have this nice flat spot, and so your vise can hold on to it. And so once you have a nice smooth surface right here, you'll want to sand it, and it's works best even if you can taper it a little bit. So if you have like a file or something, you can taper this side down, and that'll allow it to come into your die a little bit easier. And your die is going to have two sides. This is your tapered side. This is your non-tapered side. The tapered side just allows you to start it a little bit easier. And so once you have it in your vise, you're going to take either like some channel locks. I just did channel locks. They have actual handles where this will sit inside, and it's basically a two-handle thing. You twist it. But like I said, I was doing this for for cheap, and so channel locks work just fine for me. So what you do is you get it in your vise, you set this down on top of it, and you just start spinning. When you're first starting, it's really important to keep it nice and straight, and you're also applying a lot of down pressure, and eventually it'll start, and you'll feel once it starts grabbing, and you just basically keep going down. When you're doing a die, you'll see as you're coming down, when it's cutting the metal, you'll see it start cutting in these, and you'll start filling up these little pockets full of metal shavings. And what it's doing is basically curling off that metal. And so typically you'll go like one full turn, and then you'll back it off a half turn or a quarter turn, and that'll break off those metal shavings, and it'll make more room for more metal shavings. So so you bring this down as far as you'd like, and then what I did, I just took my other side and did the exact same thing. So a couple tips that I found really useful. The number one thing that helped was adding a little bit of oil when I was doing it, because that helped cut a lot more, or a lot easier. And specifically on this side, since you don't have a flat spot to put your vise in, this will tend to spin in your vise, so that's why mine's chewed up a little bit. But the difference between adding, I just used ATF. They actually have cutting oil, but I just used ATF, and it seemed to work just fine for this application. And the difference between using ATF and doing it dry is huge. So I don't know if you can see on camera, but there's one thread right here that didn't cut very good. The thread, the die kind of cut into it, and so you're actually missing a thread for about 1/4 of an inch, and that's because I wasn't using any ATF during this time, and then also this was turning a lot in the vise. So once I got there, I saw it wasn't doing a very good job, so I added, as it was cutting down, I would just squirt a little bit of ATF down each hole, and then go, 5 or 6 rotations, add more, and it was a world of difference. You can see on this side there's no discrepancies in the threads at all. It's nice and smooth. Up here it's a little bit rough. This is nice and smooth. Again, not a huge deal. This works just fine. I mean, there's, like I said, there's that one part where I'm missing a thread, but chances are it's not really going to affect anything at all. So anyway, once you have both your sides threaded, what you can do is you take like your coupling, 7/16 20 pitch, and you thread this on. Okay, and this part you want nice and tight. You can even do thread lock in there, because this isn't the part that's going to be moving. So you want to get this nice and tight in there. And then you're going to get your other side, and you need another washer, because this is going to be your lock washer to make sure it doesn't move. So you're going to thread that in, same size again, 7/16. Okay, then you're going to get your coupling and just add it. Okay, so it's stopped, and I can feel right there. They're touching in the middle. So this was like the stock height, or sorry, the stock length. It's just under 6 inches. I think it's like 5 3/4. And if I wanted to keep it there, it'd be fine. So you just get this where you want it to be. You're gonna thread this in, and then you're gonna take your 2 wrenches and tighten them against each other, and that's going to make sure that it doesn't vibrate and come loose. But the nice thing is, with it being adjustable, you can back this out pretty far and still have pretty good thread in there. I would probably keep at least 6 or 7 threads in there, just to make sure that it's going to hold securely. But all in all, really easy project. Like I said, it took me an hour, and that included me going to the store and getting this. Use ATF or some kind of a cutting oil It'll make things a lot easier. And yeah, that's all I got for you. Thanks.